Hello and welcome to Kaohsiung for the 2013 Modern Pentathlon World Championships here in Taiwan. 36 competitors in all. Strongest women's field from the year so far. Some big names, including reigning Olympic champion Laura Azutuskaitie, Jana Marquez, who won bronze at the London Olympics last year. Samantha Murray, silver medalist from London, as well as the Ukrainian duo Victoria Tereshchuk and Jana Buryak, who've been in dominant form during the World Cup series. And pick up the action with Mari Spence of Great Britain. A mixed season so far, but a solid fencing result for her with 20 victories and 14 losses. Only 34 bouts for the competitors. That was because Svetlana Khuryaskina of Russia, who won silver at the World Cup final in Nizhny Novgorod, had to pull out with a slip disc in her back, so massive disappointment for her. And there's Spence's teammate, Samantha Murray, silver medalist in London. Someone who's always going to be in contention. Very strong swimmer and a good fencing result for her as well. Up against Margot Isaacson of the United States. Renata Rimshaite used to compete for Lithuania before switching allegiances to Russia. Not the strongest of swimmers, but a good fencer and a good result for her. 22 victories and 12 defeats. She'll be carrying most of the hopes for the Russians. Khuryaskina's withdrawal. Certainly she can be happy with that performance. There's Lena Schönenborn, vastly experienced German. Doesn't have the greatest of seasons in 2013. I didn't even make the World Cup final in Nizhny Novgorod. She's made it here to the World Championships, coming through qualifying. Olympic gold medalist, of course, in Beijing in 2008. And she's second after fencing, so keeping herself well in contention. But that's the leader. After the fencing, Yelena Rublevska of Latvia. Vastly experienced athlete, 38 years of age, competed in 4 Olympic Games. A good season, especially in the mixed events with her compatriot Denis Tchaikovskis. Not the strongest of swimmers, her own ambition, but a good result for her. And we can hear from Schönenborn, who gives her views after fencing.
So far, well, I started quite late in the season. I did only 1 World Cup. I did quite well at Europeans except for riding, so I was quite relaxed coming over here. I had no real expectations, and it was a little chaos in the semi-final, having it on 2 days. We're not used to it. So I'm quite stiff today, but fencing worked out quite well. Yeah, and I think I'm still relaxed and take every discipline by its own.
The weather condition will be a real problem during riding.
Well, the weather has been a problem for combined, especially. I'm not sure about the ride. The grass might be very slippery. I think it's warm, but it's been warm quite a while, and we are here for quite a few days. We went here for adaptation, so I think we're well prepared for this. But yeah, I don't know about the horses. If it's too slippery for them, we'll see. We hope nothing bad happens.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So Lena Schönenborn there. She's in a very good position. No one really running away with the fencing. Rublevska there in front with 24 victories and 10 losses for British duo of Murray and Spence. Also in contention, Laura Azutuskaitie in 14th. Jana Buryak, 19 victories and 15 defeats for her, but Victoria Tereshchuk, not the greatest of fences for her. Had a minus record, way down in 23rd place. And we can move to the swimming pool now for the second event. Heavy rain falling in Kaohsiung. So pick up the action with the slowest of the 5 heats, heat number 5, featuring Wróblewska and Lena Schönenborn. As well as Evi Bengs of Finland. It's the first time that 2 Finnish female athletes, modern pentathletes, have qualified for a World Cup event, so or championship event. Wróblewska had the lead going into the swing, but swim really not her best event, and she'd finish 32nd overall to move down the standings. In time of 2 minutes and 28.63. It was actually won by Lena Schönenborn. It's good enough to push her up into 6th place overall after the swimming. And so from the slowest to the quickest heat of the 5, the final heats, featuring Elodie Clouvel of France and Sam Murray, as well as Ludmila Kukushkina of Russia. Elodie Clouvel, she's really dominated the swimming section this season. Tried out for the French team, that's Sam Murray in your screens there. But Clouvel tried to make the French swim team for the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, but just missed out and turned her attention to modern pentathlon. She's trying to work on some of the other events. This was swimming her speciality. Kukushkina, she's had a couple of good results. A lot of the Russian emphasis will be on her and Rimshaiti, with the withdrawal of Svetlana Huraskina. Sam Murray, after a great fence, going well as well. And I was surprised she'd actually pip Elodie Clouvel to 1st place. Not something you see very often. So Sam Murray in 1st place after the first 2 events. So just confirmation of the results after the swimming. Sam Murray in 1st place, followed by Elodie Clouvel. Fakhrudinova, another young Russian, also well in contention. Ostaskaite in 15th. Tereshuk well down the standing as well. The name Taiwan derives from a word which native inhabitants used to call part of the island, Taiyuan, and over time this would become the official name for the territory. The island also had a nickname which comes from a Portuguese word, Formosa, which means beautiful island, while Taiwan is 400 kilometers in length and 140 kilometers wide. Well, the city of Kaohsiung is located at the bottom of the island and was founded at the end of the 17th century. It was inhabited by local tribesmen who were conquered by Dutch invaders, while China then gained control of the island before it eventually fell to the Japanese. Well, Kaohsiung is Taiwan's major port and 5th biggest port in the world. Taiwan also have their navy located here. Well, in 2009, Kaohsiung had the honor to host the so-called World Games. This includes sports which don't make it into the summer or winter Olympics. 35 different sports overall, while competitors from 105 countries took part. Well, the National Stadium was specially built ahead of these games, which became the biggest sporting arena in Taiwan and can hold 55,000 spectators. It was designed by the Japanese architect Toyo Ito, who incorporated solar panels into the building. It manages to provide enough the whole. Wróblewska over jumped, not looking easy at all on the horse so far. The riders before her had ran fairly comfortably. So Wróblewska, veteran really at 38 years of age. 4 Olympic Games she's taken part in, not looking as comfortable. So Wróblewska coming up into this final section. Just the 1 penalty for her so far, the 1 knockdown. This is final section to go. And Wróblewska around safely enough. Pick up a few time penalties along the way. And she goes down the standings. So yes, 16 time penalties for her with that one knockdown. And I'm delighted to be joined by Heather Fell, an Olympic silver medalist in the modern pentathlon from the Beijing 2008 Olympics. Well, didn't look very comfortable there, Rublievska, I don't think, but got around just about.
That's quite often Rublievska's style, actually. Riding isn't one of her stronger events, as you mentioned, and she's not known for being stylish on the horse, but it's very humid out here, and this horse has already done one round with the girl previously, so maybe the horse is a little fatigued. You can see there he's just making it look like hard work.
But also, it's a lot more difficult for the riders because they don't have the same warm-up times as they used to. I think only free fences or free practice jumps, and a lot less time to warm up.
Yes, it's purely just for this competition today because these horses are actually going again later this afternoon, and with the men's event, and they're trying to conserve the horse's energy. And you can see there that Mari, we could see Mari, but that was obviously a very disappointing round for her, and she's going to be
three knockdowns for her, and slips down the standings, because we've seen actually a number of riders before, Mari and Yelena, had actually gone clear, well, had only really had minimal knockdowns, just 1 or 2 maximum, and with a shortened course, this really is going to be crucial, really.
It is.
In a good position in 9th, riding the horse Skies. We'll see how she gets on. Good results for her coming into this event. 20 victories for her in the fencing. Decent time in the swimming too.
Yeah, she's had a strong competition so far, and the Ukraine, for the Ukrainians, the Chinese and the British, it's not purely about the individual. They've actually got 3 members of their team into the final. Actually, I think the Ukraine might have 4. It's only 3 to count, so we don't know at this point which 3 are counting for the final score, but every point matters at this stage.
Absolutely. So with Mari Spence faltering on her last ride, a good chance for Ukraine perhaps to catch up in the team competition.
It is. At the moment, as you say, Britain are a substantial margin ahead, but a few poles and that can all change.
So Paklova just clipping the pole, but managed to stay on. It's Black Legs clipping there.
Yeah, she got a little left behind as well, and that back pole came down.
Not looking too comfortable, Paklova, at the moment.
She's riding the corners nice and steadily, which is important in these conditions. You can see that the course is starting to get a little bit churned up. Evidence of yesterday's typhoon rain that we had, and hence why we are riding today. And that corner there is quite a sharp one, and riders have to be very careful on that corner. I think you just saw she got a little bit unbalanced on the corner. Didn't quite slip, but just meant that her line into that final combination wasn't as perfect as it might have been, and as a result, those 2 poles came down and will have cost her.
Well, we're really starting to see the course, as you just mentioned, it was really starting to cut up. I mean, do you think this will have an impact on the later riders? Especially those riders who aren't the better riders, for instance?
It could well do. I mean, as the corners and the takeoff and landing get more chewed up, they become a little bit more slippery, and the riders need to make sure that the horses are very balanced. Anyone who is riding too fast will definitely have problems, so it's going to need nice steady rounds and clear approaches to every fence, which is always needed in the riding, but when the conditions are like this, it's even more important.
Well, here's Ludmila Kukushkina from Nizhny Novgorod in Russia, one of a number of young Russians coming through. Well, the main, Ekaterina Huraskina, was forced to pull out after she suffered a slip disc in the first event in the fencing on Friday, so a bit of disappointment for her. So it's going to be up to the likes of Kukushkina and Donata Rimshaitia and Alisa Fakhrudinova to carry the flag for them.
And it's obviously very disappointing for Russia. Yes, they've got 3 athletes into the final, but unfortunately, the way the team event works, you actually have to submit which 3 athletes count for the team score before the competition starts. So they would have already obviously put Kukushkina into their team, and now, even though with these 3, one of them, their score isn't counting, so unfortunately for the Russians, they're not in contention for a team medal.
Just bitterly disappointing, especially for Huraskina, but she had a great competition at the World Cup final in Nizhny Novgorod, where she managed to finish in 2nd place. But a lot of emphasis now on Kukushkina, whose name actually means cuckoo in Russian. Had a bit of trouble with the horse just before she entered the arena.
Yes, I mean, the warm-up obviously is very important, getting to learn the horse, learn about the horse and how it's going to react to you. But also, in some ways, they're lucky that nothing counts until you enter the main arena. So yes, she was having a little problem out there, but as long as she can get into the arena, then all is fine.
Absolutely.
And she's now she's going forwards. There seems to be no problem so far.
That's a nice clearance. Plenty of distance over the poles.
Now the horse, she's just gradually been getting a little bit quicker. And you saw there, she just ended up getting in too close to that fence, and the horse, from a stride out, said, no, we're not on the right stride. I'm not going to jump that. And that was evidence of how slippery the ground is. If they slam their brakes on, they're going to slide in these conditions. And actually, for her, that could be an advantage now that she's had a stop, yes.
Absolutely, with a new role change.
But because the fence has fallen down, the bell has been rung, as we heard, and that means the clock has now stopped. So she, instead of circling and having time faults if she'd stopped, she's now going to start again when the bell goes, and actually it's going to be the equivalent of just having one pole down without the refusal.
And crucially, it just gives her time to regroup and just get her confidence back, because obviously it's not a great feeling once you've just slammed into a fence.
Yeah, and she had started to get a little bit too fast, so actually, you know, this is now time for her to control the horse and ride forwards from there. Not a particularly straight line there.
No,
And you can see she's trying to bring the horse back. Her reins are a little bit long, and she's just managed to organise herself before the corner and recovered.
Yeah, good recovery from Kukushkina. Just about one knockdown. I think she's okay time-wise. She's been given quite a lot of leeway with the time in this event.
Yes, there definitely is, and maybe that is partly to make sure that the riders don't try and cut the corners and cause any potential slippage.
Não, não é para encostar na frente não. Bota ele de frente para o obstáculo e apresenta.
So, Kukushkina round safely enough. Next is Jana Marquez from Brazil, bronze medalist from the London 2012 Olympic Games. Won the Kremlin Cup in Moscow about 2 months ago. Didn't compete obviously in the European Championships. Comes from a different continent. Riding Chico. Jana Marquez, very good all-round athletes. Has done very well this season. Been very consistent. And always there or thereabouts when it comes to the final standings.
She definitely has been, and I mean, sometimes this is the non-Olympic year. Obviously, winning her medal last year in London, you know, you might expect her to have taken a little bit of time out, or maybe let things just relax a little bit. But she's, as you said, kept things going, and she's really been one to watch at every competition.
She really has helped also to bring modern pentathlon onto the map in Brazil. It's Brazil, not really a country known for its history in modern pentathlon, but I think Jana Marquez has done really well in trying to promote the sport. I mean, they have a World Cup leg in Rio de Janeiro, but
and it's timed really well. The first World Cup that was there a few years ago in 2009, and it's just as Jana's been coming into, you know, her strong performances. So actually, you know, she is doing a huge amount for the sport in Brazil, and with the Olympics coming up, her winning a medal in London is a perfect platform.
Absolutely. She's riding well so far. Sitting up in the saddle. Bit of a stuttery approach.
Yeah, she just wasn't quite straight and managed to correct herself in the related distance, and that's the difficult part with the fence. If you get the first part wrong, there's only a few strides till the next one. It can be sometimes quite difficult to correct within that.
Again, very similar time to Kukushkina. No time penalties as well, just for one knockdown. So Marquez remaining in contention. So just 6 riders to go.
Foi bom. Foi tua. Sabe o que foi?
Look at Marquez again. Well recover there after stuttering into the fence.
Yeah, she was definitely helped at that one. The horse has picked up nicely.
Horses have looked good in general, I think, here. I mean,
I know, speaking to a few people after the first round, that I think there was a slight worry that maybe it is very hot and the horses will start to get a little bit fatigued. They've got to work a bit harder because the ground's soft. so they sink in deeper on every stride, especially after landing. And it is ridiculously humid. You can see that how sweaty these horses are coming into the arena. Even with the shortened warm-up time, the riders in the second round might find their horses a little bit less fresh than they would have been for the first riders.
So here's Lena Schonenborn, who needs absolutely no introduction whatsoever, the gold medalist from the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. Hasn't had the greatest season so far. She did sell out a lot of the earlier events, and so it's missed out on the World Cup final in Nizhny Novgorod. And only recently has been starting to come back into the sort of form that we all know her for.
Yes, she actually, it was all part of her plan. She's not had an injury or anything, but just took a bit of time out after London, needed to finish some exams, and she's now back training full-time in preparation for the World Championships. But in her words, you know, this is obviously the peak of this year, but it's not something that she's peaked her career for, and she'll be coming here in good shape, but she'll know that she's not in her ultimate perfect competing shape.
I mean, in the post-Olympic year, I mean, you've been through this, I mean, obviously after Beijing. Do you tend to try out new things? I mean, do you experiment a bit?
It's certainly the time to change things. Some athletes might change coaches, they might change to train round that we see.
Slight understatement. But she eventually does get rounds, and I think she's going to give her horse a lot of thanks just for 3 knockdowns, because her horse certainly got her out of trouble on a number of occasions, but still a very young athlete, 19 years of age, and really riding is something that does come, unless you start modern pentathlon through riding, it's something you develop over time, and it's not normally pretty much the last sport that you master properly.
On the sort of World Championship circuit or side of things within the modern pentathlon, riding is the final event that doesn't actually get added on until you reach junior level. So there's youth E, it starts at youth E right up to youth A, then on to junior and on to senior, and junior is the first international competition where you will actually have everything. Youth A's, they have the 4 events without the riding, and youth B's, they don't even do the fencing, it's just triathlon. But obviously they can step up and they can go and compete in pentathlons, but just not at the World Championship level.
But certainly time on Tocci's side. Here's Donata Rimshaiti, who was speaking yesterday about the decision to postpone the riding event, to bring it over till Saturday. Some of the athletes weren't happy, but I think it has to be the right decision given the fact that it was just an absolute downpour.
It didn't actually end up being any sort of debate left, because the ultimate decision that the organisers have to make is all about the safety, and yesterday it would not have been safe for the horses or the athletes to try and complete that riding course. I mean, it's amazing how well it actually has drained overnight.
Yeah.
The course, from the amount of rain we had, I thought it would be completely waterlogged and sodden, and yes, it's cutting up. You can see there's a bit of mud appearing now on the second round, but actually the course, they've made it shorter, they've made the jumps a little bit lower, and they've made it slightly more straightforward, but it's holding up well, and they've, you know, amazingly lucky that it didn't rain more overnight.
Well, I mean, Rimshaiti, she hasn't had her problems on the riding. That's been really her weakest event so far this season. Do you think that the shortened course will actually help the likes of Rimshaiti and Fakrudinova, another Russian, to come next?
The way at the moment she's getting faster and faster, I guess for her, the quicker the end comes, the better, because she's got less time to get any faster than this. And we can see, obviously, that the latter part of the course for her is where the damage happened. And I'm sure Donata is relieved that she's got over that final fence without taking that one.
If you look at the time, 49 seconds. I mean, with the average time really has been around 55 seconds, 56. Yeah, she certainly got her skates on, but yeah, those 3 knockdowns could prove crucial in the end.
You can just see even there, she's struggling to just get the horse back under control. She knows it was too fast around, and she was trying, but just not quite effective enough.
So another look at Donata. Start off competing for Lithuania, switching her allegiances to her adopted nation, Russia. With disbelief from her coach. So here's her fellow compatriots, Alisa Fakrudinova. Still very young, with a promising career ahead of her. She's put up some good results so far. Was 5th after the fencing, and was 10th after the swimming. And what's made this competition, I think, so interesting was no one really ran away with it after fencing, because was it won by Rublievska won it with, I think, 24 victories, but didn't really have that big a margin over everyone. It was a big group.
And that's also quite unusual at World Championships, because there's normally quite a mixed standard when you have athletes from all around the world. You expect a more extreme ends in the fencing scores at the end of the day. So it's actually made this competition really quite wide open, and as a result of that, these polls are making a lot of difference in the final standings.
Absolutely. This competition has been going on and on. I think we're seeing more and more polls being knocked down, which is a little surprising, because there's some very good riders who've sort of gone over recently.
It seems like the Russians on the whole are struggling again with just keeping things under control, and just got a little bit too fast. Her reins got a little bit too long, and you can see there.
Well, again,
she's kind of hailing a taxi with those hands, right?
Well, again, if you look at the time, just like Grimshaiti, they both went round in 49 seconds. Okay, Fakhrudinova only had two knockdowns in comparison to Grimshaiti, who had 3, but the Russians really going for speed, when perhaps if they just slow it down a little.
But I actually don't think that they this time they were not trying to go fast. You can see that she was occasionally on the corners trying to get her reins back and trying to actually, but her seat, so her sort of body position on the horse, is not that effective. So even though she is trying to slow it down, by just pulling the reins on their own, you're not going to actually slow a huge beast of a horse like that.
Yes.
And I think she was just slightly out of control.
Right, so 2 athletes to go. Here's the penultimate one, Elodie Clevel. Surprisingly didn't win the swimming. That one going to Sam Murray.
Yes, I mean, it's always a very close fought race between those two, and usually quite exciting. And I think, I'm not sure if Elodie's not quite in great shape, but she would have been a little bit disappointed with that, because I can't remember the last time I've seen a 2-second difference between Samantha and Elodie.
Which is pretty slow for Elodie. Some strange...
A little bit of assistance from the riding coach there. Don't worry, horses understand that noise.
What does it mean?
It means move forwards, keep going. Actually, riders use that to sort of encourage the horse to move forwards.
All right. Well, Clevel, this is really an area we should be looking to improve, because has all the ingredients to be a very good modern pentathlete with the swimming, but it's really just working on some of the other events, well, especially probably the riding for her, which has let her down a lot during the season. If she could develop that consistently, then she would be really a major force.
She would. I mean, she was new to pentathlon a few years ago, coming from a very high-level swimming background.
Absolutely. She almost made the French Olympic team.
She did, yeah. And she's obviously had to let her swimming drop a little bit in order to work on her fencing, riding and shooting. And she's managed to balance it quite well. The riding is the event that's taken the longest for her, and it is the most difficult to learn at an older age. But she will be very happy with that round.
Absolutely. Really good round from Elodie. You can see the fist pump there. Delighted. Inside the time. Good time as well. And just be 1 knockdown, and she'll be delighted, and well in contention going into the combined. Well, it depends on how Sam Murray gets on, who's the last rider to go. Could actually be leading going into the combined. Well, see how Sam gets on, the Olympic silver medalist from London. And again, someone you know just 1 or 2 things about.
No, Sam has had a great last year and a half, and to show that she's up in this position at World Championships the year after the Olympics, brilliant. I know she struggled a little bit, not sure what she wanted to do, and to get her motivation back earlier on in this season. And she's obviously, the British have had a great training camp out in Fontenay, and all 4 British girls in this final have come here in great shape. And you know, Sam proved that in a swimming pool with a brilliant swim, and riding is, for the British girls, that's a strong point, so she'll be hoping to maintain her position at the top.
Same horse that Kate French used.
It is, and that should be an advantage, because Kate will obviously have gone back to Sam, explained how the horse went, and Sam will have that extra knowledge that maybe some other riders wouldn't have if they don't speak to the previous rider from the first round.
Sam not getting off to the best of starts.
Again, you can see this horse is just quite keen and wanting to go faster than Sam at the moment is allowing it. She did get a little rushed into that first fence, and hence why that pole came down.
She's really trying to battle to get control of the horse. The horse really trying to bolt
I mean,
off there.
this horse loves to jump. You can see that. He wants to see the fence and he'll go. So there's no worry about any stopping, but unfortunately, if you go too fast and flatten, then quite often the poles will come with you, and she's just going to use this corner now, hopefully to sit up and bring him back just before the final combination.
Another knockdown for Sam Murray, so 3 knockdowns. Quick time, but no avail, and she's down in second place, so it's Elodie Cluvel who will be leading going into the combined. So a slight disappointment for Sam Murray, but she's very good when it comes to the combined.
Well, she's an extremely good runner, and she's in very good shape. Like I said, they've come down from altitude, and the whole British team in the physical events will be in perfect shape. And she did have a little bit of a problem with her shooting in the combined event in the semi-final, so hopefully that's not knocked her confidence, and she'll be able to use her strong run to overtake Elodie and get that title.
Well, we'll see soon enough as we just get ready for the combined event. The competitors all up the start line. See Sam Murray.
Now the difficult part for the runners here, they will have been now up the carpeted steps into this arena, and it's not just the lighting that is different, it's also they're coming into an air-conditioned room, so it's going to be a lot colder than they've just come from the heat outside, but also the lighting, and that's the major part. It's bright outside, they're coming into a darker room, artificial lighting, and you need to very quickly adjust your eyes. So you find your air pistol, your certain position, and the aim is obviously to shoot as fast as you can. It's a laser pistol, it's laser here on the end, and it's coordinated with the target. Now, there's 5 lights up there. The athlete needs to get 5 green lights until they can leave the shooting range. So they'll have their computer as well. Every time they miss, it is a red light. They'll be looking for those 5 greens. Once the 5 green lights flash up, it's back to running mode, out onto the carpet, and they'll be back outside for another lap of the running course. Now the athletes have just left the shooting range indoors, back out into the bright sunshine here. They'll be going down the steps and coming into the arena for the final time. They run onto the running track. They take a whole lap round to here at 650 meters. And this is when they enter the last final tricky section. They've got a sharp corner to contend with here. Back on themselves, right up to that corner at the top until this final stretch into the finish. Now they have 4 laps of this running course and 4 times into the shooting arena, and that'll complete the final event of the Women's World Championships, and it's actually looking like it's going to be a really tight competition.
Oh, thanks Emma for that. We were talking just before that about how this combined course is quite different, and yeah, we just got the rundown there.
It certainly is, and I mean, I've never competed at World Championships in these kind of conditions when shooting indoors. I mean, the whole idea of the combined event is making sure that it can be in an arena outside where the riding is, where the running is for spectators, and unfortunately with these weather conditions that's not been able to go ahead out here. So they've made a good adaptation, and the athletes have just had to accept it and get on with it, and that's going to show, you know, those athletes who are calm enough to just say, right, this is what we're doing, everyone's in the same position, and it's of no advantage to anyone.
Okay, so we're almost ready to get underway with the combined. Surprise leader perhaps, Elodie Cluvel, after the first 3 events. But I must say it's a very open field. I mean, we've got Laura Assaduskaite way down in 19th place, but she's only 46 seconds behind Elodie Cluvel, and we all know how good that Assaduskaite can be. A lot of dangerous runners in there, so this should be a very, very interesting and open final.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Right, so we're almost getting ready to get underway. It's underway. She'll be followed by Sam Murray in around 8 seconds. As Cluvel leaves the stadium. Marquez, followed by Ludmila Kukushkina. Qian Chen will be the next to go from China, alongside Alisa Fakhrudinova. Sasispas and Freya Prentice also getting underway as Clavel makes her way into the shooting range. And we'll see now just how difficult it is with the changing of the lights.
I know in the semi-final that the shooting time on the whole overall was a lot slower. The girls were struggling to adapt to it, but it was slower throughout. There wasn't anyone who found it any harder than anybody else. Now they've had the advantage that they've had a practice in the semi-final, so maybe we'll see some better shooting.
Well, Sam Murray's making up quite a lot of ground on Clavel, who did start well, but is having quite a few problems. Kukushkina going very well as well, away in 11 seconds.
It's amazing how quickly they can change. There was Sam, her first 3 shots, perfect.
Yep.
Started to struggle at the end.
Same with Clavel. I mean, she got away to 3 very, very quickly, but just couldn't get that final 2. Fakhrudinova away as well, along with Jana Marquez. Isaacson having a lot of problems on the shoots, coming up to 30 seconds for her. So it's Clavel in the lead, and Kukushkina up into second spot. Sam Murray just dropping back a bit.
Margot is having absolutely no matter what's going on there, because the combined event is one of her stronger events. Something that's not quite working for her on the range.
Well, we saw with Lena Gineshi, the Hungarian athlete, who's, well, certainly would have hoped for a top 10 finish here, one of the better athletes on the women's circuit. I mean, she didn't even make the final. I mean, she had huge problems on the shooting range.
She was also said that she was running not so well. Not quite sure why, but she said that it wasn't just the shooter, it was the competition flow. So great, fingers crossed for the Hungarian team. We expect to see at least a couple of athletes up here in contention today. There's only 2 in the final, and they're really bringing it away.
Well, Clavel has opened up a sizable-ish lead over the chasing pack of Kukushkina, Marquez and Sam Murray. That tight corner there. I mean, I think you were saying earlier, it does actually help those riders who aren't as quick over the flat.
The runners,
Yeah. Sorry, runners, yeah.
You do need to win, so those athletes who've maybe got a shorter running stride find making that bit easier. And it does slow you down and start a bit, so those athletes are coming in at faster speed, they've got more to get back up to. So I guess in some ways it will take a little bit more out of the faster athletes and give those who have that slower rhythm, they break less rhythm.
I think the chasing pack are actually gaining on Clavel. I'm sure that chasing pack will be working together. It's hard.
Surprised that Hannah Fingers pacing it quite well, Samantha Murray, because she is a stronger runner than the 2 athletes she's running with. But she just thinks she's actually got 4 laps up this course. So it's not about the first lap at all, just still on the machine rushing to concentrate on it. That's where the major time can be made.
So Clavel still in the lead, going into the second shoot.
So it's that first back and then
Oh, and see, I think that's Asuduskaitia, who's, well, yeah, she started some 46 seconds behind, but she's already into that sort of second chasing pack. As Clavel comes into the range, and almost joined simultaneously by Kukushkina, Marquez and Sam Murray. Sam Murray does look very relaxed. I mean, looks so comfortable, whereas Kukushkina, where I think was really puffing. Sam looks very relaxed. Kukushkina going very well again. Away in 14 seconds, slightly slower than the 11 seconds that she got away with in the first shoot. And Sam having, again, a few problems on the range. Asuduskaitia, look at her. Away in 11 seconds, Laura Asuduskaitia. And this is only after the second shoot. I mean, she's made up some 30 seconds probably. Having a look at the leading group. It's Kukushkina, just forgetting to put down a pistol initially, but There is the leader, Ludmila Kukushkina from Nizhny Novgorod, tailed by Elodie Clouvel, and Yana Marquez there as well.
Раньше уходить на Виталий, как-то показать, где он по книге прошел. Нет, после этой камеры, после этой камеры.
Still a very long way to go to come to the 650-meter point around this turn, which you told us all about a little bit earlier. Yeah. See, Asatoskaiti up into 4th place. Oh, you can see at the moment it's Yana Marquez in the lead with about a 2-second gap from Elodie Clouvel, but look at Asatoskaiti go. Rimshaity's in 4th at the moment. Sizable gap between her and Haklova in 5th. Well, Asatoskaiti's got Marquez in her sights. Asatoskaiti already passing Clouvel, who looks to be tiring somewhat. Oh. Yeah. She's got the experience. I mean, she's the Olympic champion from London. Absolutely formidable athlete. Yeah. And Donata's made up a lot of time. Probably about 5 seconds behind, I'd say. Is that Victoria Tereshuk? Yeah. No, sorry, it was Lena Schonenbahn who's made up quite a bit of ground. Just mistook the short pattern on the shorts for Ukraine. They're way in 18 seconds, and this really is Laura's race to lose now. Because I don't think there's anyone in the world, not even Victoria Tereshuk, that could catch Asatoskaiti just over the flat. Well, Asatoskaiti is already out on the track, and she is motoring away from Yana Marquez. Marquez looking fairly comfortable for second, but I think it could be a bit of a battle on here for third. Yeah. And Rimshaiti motoring past Clouvel, who really does look sapped. Has got very little energy left. Rimshaiti. Oh, yeah. So battle for second place now, yeah. In Rimshaiti and Marquez. Marquez currently in second place, but Rimshaiti really is gaining on her. Such a long, confident stride by the Russian. But Marquez starting to pull away a bit. But Asadaskaite coming home in first place, and what a richly deserved victory for the Lithuanian, the winner of the 2012 Olympic gold medal. Well, I mean, a great run from Donata as well. I mean, she started in 12th place, some 33 seconds behind the lead. Overtook Cluvel, but yeah, a great finish by Yanni Marquez to hang on to second place. Oh, fantastic race. Just see off screen, Yanni Marquez, we can see her there. Really, really happy. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
The third place is a success for you or not?
Here now from Rimshaiti.
At least something I got. No, actually, I'm really, really happy because I had a terrible, terrible long time without any good results. Each time, or I'm fencing bad, but then a horse comes out, yeah, like a bad riding, and then I'm again out of the medals. Like, I'm really happy. This is
You made a shoot from the spare target.
what can you?
Spare target, use the spare target.
Oh yeah, my 12th target was not working, so I had to change to some that have a target. Maybe I was lucky because I didn't see anybody else shooting. Probably I got lucky a bit.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay.
Welcome.
Yes, obviously an ecstatic fashion athlete there. We know that she has the potential and has been proving her potential recently. And last year she was battling with a few sort of deep problems and illnesses, and she'll be really happy to not only herself but her compatriots and to be back on that podium at World Championships.
Also taking a lot of pressure on her as well. I mean, with Katerina Huraskina having to withdraw, the undisputed really Russian #1 this season.
We were just seeing one of the British there. Disappointing result. I mean, it was looking so promising earlier on in the competition, and a few mini problems in the riding, but it's now going to be interesting to see. I haven't actually noted how the Ukrainian athletes did, but
Haklova came home in 4th, I think.
so it's going to be down to the lesser placed athletes to see actually if we're picking up nice to the waiting game. This will be added up. Top 3 athletes from Great Britain, I think for the top 3. Ukraine and China, the only 3 teams that actually got full team international competition. Should be the winner between there as we wait.
Enthralling competition.
Yeah, I think this one with Clavel, so close. She actually pretty consistent, held in our top 3 position all the way until that final 500 meters. All that
Yeah, but it's something, I think, something she'll learn. It's a learning curve for her. It's still relatively new to modern pentathlon, and it's just going to take a time really to try and develop the strength. I mean, we can, as we saw, I mean, very tall athlete, strong athlete, perhaps not suited as much to the running side of things, but it's something she'll have to work on. And
yes, I mean, there's also been perfect for her anyway. But I think she'll be maybe a little bit frustrated
Yeah, just one knockdown. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so just to recap, gold going to Laura Asutiskaite, silver to Yanni Marquez, and bronze to Donata Rimshaiti. And you can join myself, Richard Van Poorvliet,